The products that I typically like to launch in Amazon FBA are ones that I literally don't have to touch for a month and they still get me sales without slowing down at all. So I'm here to tell you how you can get products that are completely on autopilot for even an entire month. Let's go. Hey, it's me, Karina. Welcome back to my Amazon FBA channel. So a few weeks ago, I posted a video about a 6K a month product that I had that I have completely not touched for an entire month while I was traveling, and I was still getting consistent sales without literally doing any effort except for slightly tweaking the PPC to make sure that I'm not burning through my budget. Now, I know that's not the most ideal thing, and I do not recommend running your Amazon business in a way that is completely autopilot, and a lot of the times that's not even possible. However, there are things that you can do to your product before you even launch it, and while you already launched it and while it's being sold, that make it really easy to have a very low maintenance for the product. And those are typically the products that I like to go after. And it's not even the products per se, it's just the way you approach the business model. And that's the exact way I teach all my students in my Amazon FBA INTOAMILLI program, is having products that are very sustainable for a long period of time. And I want to make a really important point. There are different types of ways people approach the Amazon FBA business model. Some people go after those get rich quick, even though that's very not possible, not probable, and it's probably it's just not gonna happen. Okay, just forget it. You can't just launch a product on Amazon, have it make you millions, and case closed. That is not how it works. But what a lot of people do is they go into markets that seem easy and they think they're going to launch something, throw it up there, get to the first page, do exactly what everyone else is doing, and still get sales. And okay, there are hot markets like this, and I'll tell you a little story about somebody in this type of market that I think you'll find very interesting. But then the other side to things is the people that go in actually adding value to the product, actually adding value to the customer. And yes, that is harder, and it's harder to find those niches and to expand in them. However, when you do, you can have products like this that are completely on autopilot. So that is a huge distinction, and you have to keep this in mind even before you are selecting your product, because you want to have the second mentality of going into Amazon so you can actually make sure it's a sustainable product. When I first started Amazon FBA, there was a lot of sellers also starting. Of course, I was in the community, I was around, and there were some sellers that were posting their screenshots of, let's say, 30K a month products. One product doing really hot, and I remember looking at that and being, man, you know what? I want to do this too. And at this point of my career, whatever you call this, I was still doing product research, thinking, hoping, like all of us are. And I saw this screenshot. I'm like, wow, that is amazing, you know? And it was something it was just a product. It's interesting. So the sales were very high. And about 2 months after, I checked the sales, and I checked the sales again recently, a few months ago, of that specific industry, and their specific brand was non-existent. It went from doing $20,000 to $30,000 a month to literally doing $500 a month. Now, let me tell you, this product was something that you literally put this much effort in, and I mean really. What they did was essentially take the same product everyone else was selling, they bundled it with the same exact product, excuse me, so it was a pack of two. So they launched that pack of two in a very oversaturated market that had a very low barrier of entry, where every other person saw this opportunity. Eventually they did see this opportunity, and all they had to do was place an order from Alibaba without making any differentiation. This is the type of product where no packaging was needed, no logo would have made a difference. There's nothing else you could bundle the product to that would actually add value to the customer. The only benefit is that it was a hot market and that point. And what they did at that time, they used giveaways to launch it to the top. So they used heavy discounted sales at pretty much 90% off to trick the Amazon's algorithm into thinking they're getting actual full price sales or discounted sales velocity, but they were not. So they got to the first page, they got traction just because the market was so hot and selling really well, and they did well for maybe 1 to 3 months, and then after that, $500 a month. And that's not profit, that's revenue. So your profit off of that is like 50 bucks. Do you want 50 bucks a month profit? Because I don't want 50 bucks a month profit. And that's the unfortunate truth. Those are the types of markets people try to get into because it seems easy and it seems like you could do that for a while, but the problem with that is it's completely inconsistent sales. The products I teach my students to get into are ones where you have consistent revenue month to month to month to year. So products that I literally launched, the first successful Amazon product I had is today still making me money. Of course, the revenue fluctuates. Sometimes it's much higher, sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's slightly lower, but it does not go below the slightly lower. It's always at least at a certain threshold, and other times with other factors, with other competition, with seasonal aspects of it that contribute to it, it's much higher. So those are the products you want to go after. So exactly, you might be asking, what are these types of products? Okay, it's not going to be your typical commodity item that you just put out there and hope for the best or do no effort in. It's something you actually have to sit down, think about it, study the market, which is exactly what I teach in all my modules, is how to find the market, how to study the market, how to identify what the customer wants, and how to improve it. You actually want to make an improvement. And again, don't get all crazy. Don't think you have to be making new molds or doing some crazy innovative thing. But the thing is, you need to do something that makes you stand out from everybody else, because you have Amazon's first page with really only the 10 top spots being of any value of people buying from it. So why would anyone buy from you, and how could you even get to those 10 spots? You have to do something that adds value, something that's different. Don't go for the cheapest deal from the supplier, the cheapest whatever product that they can do. You don't want that, because that's going to compromise the quality. Sometimes you have to put up the cash up front, you have to put in the effort up front to make something really quality and sustainable. But that means going through the reviews, that means studying the sales history, seeing what you can bundle your product with, putting effort into the packaging if your product is one that needs packaging, all of the above. But you can't just throw something on there. And that's essentially what happened to me. Every product that I've launched, of course, I've had failures, and you can see that on my failure playlist on this YouTube channel, because I try to be transparent with that. I don't have every single product being successful. Yes, there are products that you analyze the market and sometimes it just doesn't work, and that's okay. But every single product that I've done, I have spent a very long time analyzing the market and seeing how can I stand out, how can I make the customer feel like when they actually receive the product, it looks aesthetically pleasing, they feel like the customer service is there, they feel like they, you know, are buying something that is worth them spending their money on, that they actually get use of the product. I'm not trying to sell some rinky-dinky thing. And the thing is, with those types of products, when you of course make the listing great and everything, you will not get as many negative reviews as you think. Of course, there are some negative reviews will come in and out, but if you just take it as a whole, the customers will be satisfied, and it is very, very, very sustainable long term. And that's what I want to point out. The sustainability for the long term is the most important thing. You want to have products that give you cash flow month to month to month and aren't just going to cap out after a few months because all the hijackers and vultures came onto your listing and then started leaving negative reviews, and other sellers trying to push you off the first page. You don't want that. You want to differentiate yourself, so when others try to compete in your market, they're gonna think, okay, so not only do we need to have a graphic designer give us a really amazing package, now we have to bundle it with something, maybe talk to 2 different suppliers to bundle it together, and the listing looks amazing with great photography or 3D rendering or Photoshop, whatever they did, and just it's expensive and I don't want to invest that money upfront. You want those types of challenges so other people cannot get into your market, because if they do, then you can just be booted off like everyone else. So that's why, of course, I launched my product all with PPC, and I've launched it and it's been consistently getting me sales. And of course, it's not ideal. I usually split test all the time and moderate, and this was on my second smaller account, so I was obviously really involved with my brand account, which has several SKUs, and doing all of that. But this is just a new account. I started a Seller Central account that I was just, you know what, let's just continue to put products on there for profit. And this was one of those items that I didn't really care too much about after the launch phase, but I did get it to successfully launch with PPC, and it's such a high quality product and offers an actual value to a customer for a competitive price, plus they get a bundle, plus it's very pleasing, and it's just very easy to get ahead like that. And imagine that coupled with actually trying to improve the product and, you know, really making more efforts and changes into it, which is what I am doing now, and I'll update you in later videos. But that's literally the type of product you want. If you are struggling with finding products, I do have a cheat sheet attached down below that will help you with certain parameters, so you can just check that out, download it. It's completely for free. It's in the link down below. If you are interested about a program, I also have that below. I have a mentorship, I have Facebook groups, everything you need is down below, and I will see you in my next video.